the new Van Halen. New because of the addition of lead singer Sammy Hagar, who stepped into the 12-year-old group in July of '85 after the bitter, much-publicized departure of the colorful David Lee Roth.
This band had a former image, and now there's a new one, and so, you know, we want to be seen as the four of us, and just get that out of the way, and then once that's established, then we'll go off and all become solo artists again. I don't know.
Okay, you call yourself the real Van Halen.
Yeah, like real whipped cream, you know?
Because everyone's being themselves, you know, because everyone
never felt so good, period. I mean, this whole tour, man, the audiences, you know, we hang out together, we laugh, we joke. It's just great, you know? It never used to be that way.
we really prefer being musicians, artists, thinking of that way, other than being star figures and trying to really, you know, put a lot into that. I mean, it's something you can do, you know, you can contrive an image, you know, you can do anything you want, you know, physically to make yourself look all these different ways, dress all these different ways, get funny haircuts, do anything you want to do to project a certain image and say about anything you want to say. Like right now I could tell you some big line of crap if I wanted, you know, and there'd be 60 million people out there going, wow, you know, they'd believe it.
To me, I get a lot of satisfaction out of just geeking out and being myself, and people accepting that.
If it sounds as if the band feels more liberated now, perhaps they do. While reluctant to discuss the specifics of David Lee's exit, they do admit to some changes.
Well, I think sometime back, Edward said this in an interview, it's like there's no governor on the band now. You know, it's like Ed's, from everything from Edward being able to play keyboards and, you know, expanding that way to just, you know, being ourselves. If, you know, we want to wear a T-shirt and a pair of jeans on stage, that's what you wear that night.
Yeah, it's like what we're wearing now, and you see us on stage, it's like we're kind of doing it backwards.
Yeah.
How is the band different because of Sammy's involvement?
Well, for one, even if he wasn't in the band, he's a great guy, and because of his positive vibe, it's easy to work. I mean, we can write a tune. What?
We wrote 3 songs in one day, if you remember.
Hey, the other day, just before we went on.
That's, yeah.
You know, it's just nice to, it's comfortable. It's great. It's easy. It's not work. You know, you don't work music, you play it. We used to work.
Since leaving the band, David Lee Roth has released a solo album and is currently on tour. He has spent the last few months exchanging insults with Van Halen in the press and has his own version of the breakup.
Well, what happened with Van Halen is one of the big reasons I left is because of the dishonesty in the band there. Dave wouldn't allow our wives up there. That's the oldest excuse in the book. How many musicians of you out there watching right now have sat backstage, you turn to the lead singer and say, hey, my baby I don't want her to come tonight. I'll tell her you said just she couldn't come.
This Monday, I will have been married 18 years to the same woman. And I got nothing bad to say about bringing a wife on the road, hanging out with your wife. If you've been married that long, obviously you're friends. And I think it's great, and it says something for not just rock and roll, but for mankind, for people on this planet, male-female relationships. To see a guy like Eddie Van Halen, who everyone thinks is this, you know, big rock and roll god, to see him with his wife, I think he should be proud, and I think it's a great thing.
Eddie, was it not that way when David Lee was with the band?
No, it was great when I was with my wife, but when he was around, oh, forget it, man. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, all right?
There was a certain, you know, that had to do with a certain image that was supposed to be projected by the band. And like Sammy said...
He was worried. He was basically pretty worried about, hey, man, if everyone knows you guys are married, man, you know, it's going to, you know...
No chicks in the shows.
Squeezed by this guy tonight.
The issue of David Lee Roth aside, the fact is 5150 is Van Halen's first #1 album, and Why Can't This Be Love was one of the biggest singles of the year. With this last album, it seems that Van Halen has been able to really broaden its audience and reach more of a pop audience.
What do you mean by pop audience?
Well, I mean,
to me, you know, pop, if you make good music and more people like it, all of a sudden you're pop. You know? If you're a punk band and nobody buys your records, then you're cool or something. I don't know. I don't get it, you know?
True.
As soon as you start selling a lot of records, all of a sudden you're pop. you know, to me...
You don't see any change in the music?
Oh, sure, there's change in music. We kept doing the same thing. You know, why not just buy our previous record? Why buy the new one if it's not different? My philosophy is don't think. You know? Honestly, I don't think. Everything, the music that comes out of me, I don't know where it comes from, but it's definitely not contrived or, you know, I'm not thinking about it. Oh, I'm going to write a tune like this, you know?
Yeah, this band makes no compromises, never in the studio making this album. Once did we ever go, gee, well, maybe we need a song like this, or maybe we should do this or this song. It's just like, things just happened, you know, the lyrics just fit, it just did, boom, 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 boom. Next thing we knew, it was done.
The members of Van Halen have been around a while, and rock and roll is a business that takes it out of you. But the guys figure it's a game they've got licked.
The most important thing is that rock and roll is not just the music, the lights, the big wham bang and explosions, the rest of the stuff. It's more an attitude of going after something and giving it your all. Give it your best shot.
Some people make fun of this business while they're in it. Some people, you know, hate it while they're in it. They can't take it. They commit suicide. It's a strange business. But those that have the heart for it and really love it, continue on as long as you want, as long as you got that heart. When you lose that heart, the fans are the first one to know it.